Welcome back to Primetime News, and a special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. 9 more cases of COVID-19 have been recorded in Jamaica, pushing the total to 529. Details were outlined at a virtual press conference late this evening. In the meantime, the Health Ministry has confirmed that a pregnant woman had to be taken off the Royal Caribbean vessel which arrived in the Jamaica yesterday. Andrea Chisholm now joins us live with the latest. Andrea.
Well, Herman, first of all, let me just indicate that 26 more Jamaicans have recovered from COVID-19, pushing the total number of recoveries to 171. Another piece of good news, Jamaica has no seriously ill COVID-19 patients at this time. Now, as for the 9 new cases, 2 are linked to the workplace cluster, and that's the Alorica Call Center in Portmore, St. Catherine. 1 is a male from Kingston and St. Andrew, and that case is under investigation. Now, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton gave more details on the remainder of the new cases.
The new cases range from 17 to 53 years, and so the COVID spread is affecting age cohort across the board, and that means our response has to be to address all age cohort. 6 males recently repatriated from the United Kingdom, another important piece of information, are among the new cases, the 9 new cases. And I want to pause here to say that of the total number of persons who have come in from the UK, we have so far had confirmation. This is just over 100, right? 120 or thereabouts from the UK. We have had positive confirmation for COVID of 12 of these individuals, and all 12, as I understand it, are former crew members of a particular vessel that came into the island on that flight, which means that of the total number of crew members who came in, which totaled approximately 46, 26% have tested positive for COVID.
Let's now turn our attention to the over 1,000 Jamaicans who arrived yesterday on board the Adventurers of the Seas operated by the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa Mackenzie pointed out that documentation from the ship showed that a sick person was on board.
So, yes, it was in fact a pregnant patient that was removed from the ship yesterday, and that person was transported to the Cornwall Regional Hospital. The particulars of the case are not available for discussion at this time.
The patient confidentiality issues doesn't allow that to take place. The person would have to speak on their own behalf as it relates to the status of their condition, or give written permission for that to happen.
Dr. Bisesa Mackenzie also pointed out that the Medical Officer of Health for Trelawney boarded the ship this morning and carried out an inspection. And as expected, quarantine orders have been placed on the ship.
Which means that no persons would be allowed to disembark the ship for the next few days while it is that we carry out the necessary investigations. However, in the processing, in order to get the Jamaicans to disembark, we made certain stipulations in terms of the quarantine orders that were placed that would allow the Jamaicans to disembark over a period of days in batches of 200. Many persons are concerned about the fact that we're only allowing 200 persons to come off, and I've seen questions where persons are asking if it is that we have the capacity to test over 1,000 persons per day, why not test everybody per day and allow persons to come off? However, it is not just the testing that has to take place. We do have to go through a process where persons are interviewed. We do get the paperwork, but we do have to do a personal interview as well to ensure that everything is in order.
What happens next? Dr. Bisesa McKenzie pointed out that there's need for sensitization. That's giving the Jamaicans more information about COVID-19. As she stated, they will leave the ship in batches of 200 starting tomorrow. Samples will be collected. They'll go to the Bahia Principe Hotel until results are ready. That should take about 24 to 72 hours. And depending on the outcome of the tests, they will either move to state or home quarantine. Now, another important piece of information, 492 samples were tested in the last 24 hours, and that brings the total number of samples tested in Jamaica to 9,021. Herman?
All right, thank you very much. Andrea Chisholm there with the very latest from that press conference. Janella?